lesson by removing the beginning part of some words. So Miss Neal is going to say a word, and I'm going to tell you guys to remove part of that word, and you tell me what's left. Are you ready? Here we go. My first word is skim without sk. Im. Very good. Let's try drum without dr. That's right. Last one. Trace without tr. Ace. Very good. Let's jump into our worksheet and practice some of those letter sounds we've been learning. For number 1, my letter sound is I. We're actually going to divide our line in 2 parts so we can write when we hear the I sound. So we can have letter I at the beginning of a word making the I sound, and we can also have I consonant E. Yesterday, we learned a new letter that can make the I sound at the end of a word. Do you guys remember what it is? Yes, letter Y. So letter Y can make I at the end of a word. Excellent. For number 2, my letter sound is The digraph O makes the sound. For number 3, my letter sound is oo. Ooh. Again, the digraph O can make the oo sound as well. For number 4, my letter sound is th. The digraph TH makes the th sound. For number 5, my letter sound is the. Again, the letter T and H form the digraph that makes the sound. Very good. For number 6, my letter sound is Y. That's the consonant sound that letter Y makes. For number 7, my letter sound is letter F makes the sound. Very good. For number 8, my letter sound is D. So we're going to divide this one in 2 parts. At the beginning of a word, letter D makes the D sound. And at the end of a word, letter D can also make the D sound, but the suffix ED can make the D sound as well. ED. Excellent! For number 9, my letter sound is K. So we're going to divide our line in 2 parts. At the beginning of a word, letter K can make K, and letter C can make K. At the end of a word, letter K can make K, letter C can make K, letter CK can make K, and KE can make K if there's a sneaky E back there. And for number 10, my letter sound is W. Letter W. Excellent! Let's jump down to numbers 11 and 12 and practice spelling some words. For number 11, we're going to spell the word buy. Buy. And because I hear that long I sound at the end of that word, I know that it's going to end in letter Y. So I'm writing B-I to spell the word buy. Very good. For number 12, we're going to spell the word week. Week. I hear that E sound in the middle of that word. So I know that I'm going to use that E digraph to spell the word week. W-E-K. Oh, my E's looking crazy there, but you guys know what it is. Excellent job! So yesterday we learned part 1 of our Y spelling rule. We learned that at the end of a little word, Y can make the I sound, like in the word buy. Today we're going to learn the other part of our Y spelling rule. So repeat these words after me and listen for the ending sound. Happy, silly, 20. What sound did you guys hear at the end of each of those words? Yes, we heard the E sound, like in the word happy. Let's look at those words on the board. What letter do you guys see that might be making that E sound? Yes, it is letter Y. Just like we learned yesterday, letter Y can make vowel sounds. So when it's at the end of a two-part word, like happy, it's going to be making the E sound. So yesterday we learned that when a Y is making a vowel sound, we put a dot on top of it to help us remember that it's not making the consonant Y sound. It's making a special vowel sound. So I'm going to put a dot above each one of my Y's. How many syllables do each of these words have? Let's test them out and see. My first word is happy. Clap that word with me. Happy. 2 syllables. Let's try silly. Ready? Silly. 2 syllables again. Let's try 20. Ready? 20. It also has 2 syllables. Each one of these words have 2 syllables because they have 2 vowel sounds. So because these are 2-syllable words, we can label our vowels and our consonants and draw our division line. So let's do that now together. Our first word is happy. So I'm going to start by labeling my vowels. And remember, letter Y is acting as a vowel in these words. So I'm going to put a V under letter A and a V under letter Y. Then I'm going to label the consonants in between. So I have a consonant here and a consonant here. Now I know exactly where to draw my division line because we always draw it between our 2 consonants. So I'm drawing my line between my 2 consonants. Very good. Let's do the same thing with the word silly. I'm labeling my I with a V and my Y with a V. And then my 2 consonants in between. Now I know I can draw my line between those 2 consonants. So I'm coming down between my 2 consonants. Let's do the same for the word 20. I'm labeling my E with a V and my Y with a V. Then I need to label the 2 consonants in between. So I'm drawing C and C. Now I know where to draw my division line between my 2 consonants. So I'm drawing my line to divide that word into 2 parts. So yesterday we learned that Y can make the I sound if it's at the end of a little word, like in the word fly. Today we've learned that Y can make the E sound when it's at the end of a 2-part word, like in the word happy. So I have a little song, a little rhyme for us to do to help us remember when Y says I and when Y says E. So I'm going to do it one time and then I want you guys to stand up and try doing it with me. Okay? Here we go. Y says I at the end of a little bitty word. Y says E at the end of a 2-part word. Excellent! Now let's do it together. Everyone stand up and do it with me. Here we go. Y says I at the end of a little bitty word. Y says E at the end of a 2-part word. Excellent! Excellent! That little rhyme helps us remember when to use this new Y spelling rule. Thank you guys for joining me. That was awesome. So when Y is making this E sound, we're not going to code it with a long or short symbol. We're just going to put that dot on top and know that if it's a two-part word, it is making that long E sound. So there is something else that we're going to learn about the letter Y today. This is a very special letter. It can have a lot of different jobs in words. So did you guys know that Y can also act as a suffix? Let's look at the words I have on the board. Sandy, sleepy, funny. So the Y on these words is actually changing the meaning of the word. If I remove it, I still have a word. For example, in the word Sandy, if I take the Y off, my word is still sand. Sand has a meaning of its own. But when I put that Y on the end, it changes the meaning, just like all of the other suffixes we have been learning. Do you guys remember how to code a suffix? Yes, we draw a box around it. So I'm going to draw a box around my Y suffix. So what I want you guys to do is every time you see a word with the Y in the final position, before you do any coding, I want you to check and see if it's a suffix. Remember, we know if it's a suffix if it can be removed and we still have a word. In the word sleepy, if I take Y off, I'm left with the word sleep. The word sleep has a meaning of its own, which means that Y is acting as a suffix in this word. So today, we've learned two special things about letter Y. We learned that it can make the E sound at the end of a two-part word, and we also learned that sometimes it can be a suffix. Excellent job! All right, friends, for number 13, we're going to write all of the things we have learned that can make the E sound. So we've already learned previously that letter E can make the E sound. The digraph E can make the E sound. E, consonant sneaky E can make the E sound. And today we learned that letter Y can make the E sound. Very good. So when we look up here at the top of our worksheet, we can see our key word for this new spelling rule is candy, because candy ends in letter Y, but it's making the E sound. Let's pick up with number 14 and practice spelling some words that have this rule in them. For number 14, we're going to spell the word candy. Candy. So I'm going to start by writing my first syllable, which is can. And now I'm going to write my last syllable, which is D. D. E. Candy. Excellent. For number 15, we're going to spell the word rusty. Rusty. Again, two syllables, rusty. So I'm going to start by writing Rus. Us. T. Excellent. For number 16, we're going to spell the word sleepy. I hear that E sound in that word. So I know I'm going to be using that E digraph. So I'm going to start by writing sleep, and then we'll add E on the end. Sleep, E. Sleepy is one of those words we were talking about earlier where Y is acting as a suffix. Because if I remove Y, I'm left with the word sleep. Sleep has its own meaning, which means that Y does not have to be there to make that word. So in the word sleepy, Y is acting as a suffix. Excellent job today, sweet friends. I want you to finish coding the rest of these words on your own and then flip your paper over and try some reading practice. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another fabulous phonics lesson. Bye!